obviously the first 3 years I was in the military, I was a 19 kilo, but 9 months prior to Afghanistan, they took away my rifle, or took away my tank, handed me an M14, and they're like, you're a designated marksman. And Afghanistan, it was, I did a lot of growing up in that part of the world. I learned to get very numb to things. It wasn't, like, I don't get into pissing contests with other people who've been to combat. Mine was better than some, worse than some. Like, that's just the way that I look at it. I had an easier deployment than some people. I had a worse deployment than other people. Lost friends, had friends wounded, things like that.
It's war's not fun. I can't stress that enough.
No, it's
to the people that think I joined because of Metal Gear Solid, and then I learned real quick after a couple of gunfights. Oh, and I think Terry talked about it. It doesn't matter how well you're trained. A bullet does not give a shit, and
exactly.
It is a random stray IED can just hit you.
Yeah, I remember when we lost Mark and Casey. It was Monday, August 30th, 2010. Mark Naziska was my platoon leader, and Casey Grakowiak was one of our squad leaders. And Casey, if you'd have told me we were going to lose Casey, I'd have told you bullshit. Our entire platoon was getting wiped out before we lose Casey. The man was 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like, Casey was just, he was an amazing human. The first time I ever had bullets whiz over top of my head, he laughed at me. Because he was, I mean, Ranger bat, like, he just stone cold. And the rounds that whizzed over top of me were actually 50 cal from American 50 cals. Oh, and they were behind us because the Taliban got real smart. And they knew we were here, and they had gun trucks here. And so they, like, used the low ground, got in between us, shot at the gun trucks, and then got low and got out. So they were shooting at us. Smart little bastards.
Yep.
And so we had cover. So I'm inside a compound, and I saw a couple of tracers, and I hear, like, and I dropped. And Casey was up actually higher than me behind me. And he's like, Long, come on, those weren't even near you. I was like, close enough, man. Like, nope. Oh, man.
They are not making snap sound.
Oh, dude. And then I remember, dude, we had so many IEDs. It was Operation Southern Comfort. And for a couple of years, I used to kill a bottle of Southern Comfort on August 30th.
I was going to say, I was like, SoCo is such,
yeah.
I haven't heard that drink in so long.
And I remember
Do they make that still?
I think so. I've seen it. I've seen it around. Yeah, it's just cheap. I mean, it's kind of like a sweet. Is it a whiskey or a bourbon?
It's like a cherry whiskey.
Yeah, it's
something like that.
It's not good. I used to kill a bottle of that on every 30th just by myself, and that was not a healthy thing to do.
Not a high point in your life.
No. And I remember we were there, and it was they baited us in. It was bumper number 004 because I remember I identified it myself. We were in Bazarche, and our previous objective was Gari, and there was like 1,200 meters between there and us. And I remember my platoon was the first ones to get to Bazarche, and it was middle of the night by the time, sun was going down by the time we got there. And the higher echelon was like, look, we're gonna have CAS on station all night if you guys need them, but we're not pushing to you until the morning. So I remember I was huddled in a trash bag with my buddy Vicente Anastasi, and that was how we stayed warm.
Oh yeah,
I was in a trash bag. It was freezing, and so they came out there the next day, and as you're coming up the road, there was the I'm sorry, I'm going way off topic on the missiletism thing here, but
no, I love this.
Okay.
This is a real quick trash bag. The reason that actually keeps you warm is it traps the heat and moisture. Yes, it's going to radiate a little, but it's not perforated, so it's just trapping the heat inside everything. And then you got 3 dudes
just staying warm in that bitch. And they had gone and checked on the truck. They just hadn't gone all the way down to the truck. And it was bumper number 004. It was a stolen ANCOP truck that the Taliban had gotten a hold of, and they baited us in. What's crazy is they must have like done it in between the first and the second night, because the first night EOD went and cleared the alley, checked on the truck, and then they're like, all right, we got to push to the final objective. But in that 1,200 meter span, there was like 10 IEDs. Our sappers, shout out to engineers, they kept me alive. Like every 100, 150 meters, they were finding another IED. Like the Taliban wanted to kill us and kill us all. And so we got to Bazarche, stayed that night. The next day, the other sappers and the rest of the company got up to us, and then people start pushing out. And sometime between the night we were there and the next day, I think the Taliban went in there and started planting IEDs. There was like 6 IEDs in a 200-meter span. They wanted to kill everybody in there. Yeah. And we're so lucky that it was just Mark and Casey, which sucks to say. It really sucks to say that, but we're very lucky that it wasn't more people.
It wasn't a mass cache or a daisy chain because they got further and explode than as individuals come in or new elements then they pull up not knowing that they're on top of IEDs. Then you start popping up because everyone lowers their guard because they're dealing with a KIA and then extracting of a vehicle.
And I remember they put me out on guard, and I was facing north. And I can see it in my head. If I could draw it, I could show you exactly what that place looked like because it's burned into my memory. And I remember I saw an explosion in the distance, and no one had called out fire in the hole. And I said the dumbest words that have ever come out of my mouth, the dumbest thing I've ever said in my entire life. I said, I laughed about it. I was like, who the hell set off a controlled det without calling fire in the hole? It wasn't a controlled det. That was the explosion that killed Mark and Casey. And I remember I didn't even know what was going on. I had no clue what the was happening. And they pushed me from the north to the east to cover an open field, and I didn't know what was going on. I saw a second platoon, so third platoon was past it, and they had started doubling back. Thank God they did, because they were heading towards an area that had like a dozen 155 shells rigged to the door. It was going to kill all of that third platoon squad. Yep. And second platoon was pushing out, and I remember George, he was the medic for second platoon. He was like out in front of the squad, and the platoon sergeant was like, George, slow the down, you're going to get yourself killed, because you got to keep the medic back. And that's when I saw them go out and pop red smoke, which meant medevac. Somebody's hit. And I saw, first person who I saw come back was Adam Moreau. He was my fister, my forward observer. And this is why I swear by Oakley's. Moreau had the outline of his Oakley's in his face. He took shrapnel all to the face, just little peppered shrapnel. Mark took the majority of the blast for Moreau. And you could literally see the outline of his Oakley's. Like, those things saved his vision. And so he loaded up, and then our interpreter, he took a chunk of shrapnel through the hip. It shattered his pelvis. So they loaded him up, and then everything slowed down. That first chopper went out, second one came in, everything slowed down. And they're like, oh, first platoon, get inside here now. I was like, I'm on security, I can't move. And they're like, second platoon, take over security for long. Cool. Came inside. And we had this guy, Staff Sergeant Rodriguez, who's now a CSM. He's Command Sergeant Major. No shit. This dude is, he is the epitome of what a soldier should be. And this was the only time in my life I ever saw a career tough guy, because he was hard, man. And he started to break. And I'd never seen it before. And I'd still, at this point, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, what happened? Who was hit? I saw Moreau. Is Moreau going to be okay? That's all I saw. I thought it was just Moreau. And, Sergeant Day, he was over, I remember seeing him against the wall, and he had already broken. He couldn't keep it together anymore. And I was like, what's going on? And Sergeant Rod was like, hey, we need to have a moment of silence for the guys we just lost. And I was like, who do, and they still didn't give us a name at that point in time. So I start counting, and it's up. It's totally up. You see the people and the faces coming back, and you're hoping who it's not. Which is, it's a shitty thing to do, and you just can't really help it, right? It's just not something mentally you can prepare for. And the first person who came through the door I saw was Jeremiah Gates. And he actually ended up being a Green Beret in Special Forces, and then he played football for Iowa, one of the college teams there, and then he left college and went back to the Special Forces. Oh, Gates is, we call him the Nerd Hulk, because from the neck down, he's yoked. From the neck up, pizza face, Coke bottle glasses, kind of talk like this. It's great. I love Gates, man.
Foster, you watching this? I know your ass is. Same. Foster's a dude. This dude, real quick. 100 Foster. I think he was 6'2", 6'4". How tall were you? He was 6'2", 6'4", 140 pounds, 130 pounds. Tiny, skinny little dude. Then Sergeant Shooty, Tanker Shooty, got him lifting weights, and Shooty was a farm boy, just always benched. He could incline bench 315 all day long.
God damn.
Dude was just 240 pounds of just pure muscle, or 260 pounds, but 5'9". He got Foster into lifting. Foster went up to 240 pounds.
Holy
from 140 pounds of pure muscle, but still the nerd face up top. Yep. And then just ooh. Whoa, bro, what the happened, Foster? Creatine.
Dude, Gates is good people, and he was the first one I saw, and he was a 240 gunner at that point in time. So I helped him take off the 240. I helped him get his body armor off, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what he had just been through. Yeah. So I hugged him. That was all I could do. And the next one I saw come through was Ronnie, Justin Rontes, and Ronnie, I love Ronnie, but he made a very stupid decision before the deployment. He told my mom he was going to bring me back home alive. Don't ever say that. Don't ever promise that. Don't do that. That's never something you do.
Also, since the bomb shit's way worse than I could think of.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll take care of your boy.
Yeah, and Ronnie, his whole pant leg was soaked in blood. I didn't know who from. And then Sergeant Matt Williams, who actually, he does country now. He's a country singer. Yeah, Matt, he's good people. He's a good friend of mine. He came through and I watched him break. He like threw his Kevlar against the wall and then he like collapsed to his knees, M4 barrel in the dirt and just put his heads on top of the buttstock and broke. I watched him break. That's about the time we found out it was Mark and Casey, which...
Gotcha.
Oh, that was a month in. We got there at the end of July, beginning of August, and that was a month in, and I was like, what the did I get into? Like, what the is happening?
It sets the tonality for war, but it's also that wake-up call of, hey, we're not invincible.
Yeah.
There is no, it doesn't matter your training, doesn't matter any of that. Everyone is fallible, and everyone can just
gone.
She can just, in a matter of 1 minute, that much can change. And then in 30 minutes, you're finding out all this. I've told the story before. It was mission 2. I got hit. We lost Goodyear in the back. Got back after an 8-hour gunfight. We got back to Falcon, and then we find out Mark sits down across from me. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And I lost my whole team. I'm like, what the f? You weren't on patrol. It was we were mission day. They were just on a quick patrol. He's like, we got back to base. We parked. Mortar fell right in between all the strikers, right where they just parked to eat chow. And the drop ramp, eating chow on base, and it just landed right there. Killed Ham, and then wiped out 5 other people. Just got pepper with shrapnel, and they were all sent home. And that was mission 2. And that was completely different areas all together. Yeah. And then that was like, what the?
That was what, like 2006?
That was 2007. That was like
2007.
Surge just kicked off. So it was, hey, and that's where we're like, wait, is this how the rest is gonna be? And sure shit. Rest of that deployment was just that. It would be like, hey, we lost 1. Oh shit. Okay. Break. We just lost 4 guys. Break. Hey, 2 people are dead. Break. 1 is dead. Oh, striker fell in the river. Watson drowned. Like he couldn't get out, so drowned. Mm-hmm. So we have to go recover striker body. Boom. And so it's all those like, what the f-? And there is no, oh, this is what's gonna happen. You don't know. You literally have no idea. Someone might die. Someone might not die.
And the thing is, and what not a lot of people understand is like, let's say you're working in a construction site and you lose somebody. They give you like time to grieve, time to heal, time to do anything. Us, it was like, these guys just died. We got to go clear the area because we're dropping ordnance on it. Like we have a job to do. Keep your head on straight. We have a job to do. Guess what? 2 people are dead. That sucks, but more are going to die if you don't do your job right. And there's no time. So you become very like numb to everything and you just exist.
Yeah, there's no downtime. You get like the talk from I'm sure, same thing. It was like your platoon sergeant and then your company sergeant talk to you, and your company, he's a company sergeant, right? The first sergeant talk to you,
yep.
And then your company commander would talk to you and give their spiel, but also, hey, sorry, you might get like 12 hours down. I don't know how you did it. We were supposed to get 24 hours, and then he apologized like, hey, sorry, we have a mission. You got to go hit the house, and we're like, oh shit, okay. Like, okay, we're gone.
For us, our battalion commander, who I think is a general now, Clay Paget, he's like 6 foot 1,000. The guy is war as like the dude is like, he likes to fight. And he came out and he just started like hugging every single one of us. Like he cared about the Reaper platoon. The man gave a shit and he didn't want to lose people, which I mean, obviously no one wants to lose people, but some battalion commanders like, well, this is an acceptable amount of losses. 0 was his acceptable. Like, that's the way he worked. He was like, we're going to find these and we're going to kill them. Like, he's like, we're not taking them captive. We're going to kill them. Like, that's just the way he was. And then our chaplain came out, Chip Satterley. And Chaplain Satterley, I got blessed, man. He was probably the best chaplain the United States Army has ever had. I think he's still in. And later that night, I was pulling security again. I was just inside the door, just sitting behind a saw. And he came over. It was like 10 o'clock at night. And he's just like, hey, Long, how you doing, man? You want to talk? And it was the only time in my life I ever said, like, hey, sir, respectfully, I just don't feel like talking about it. Like and he's like, that's fine. Take your time. He goes, if you need me, I'm going to just be talking with other people. Just kind of wave me down. And I was like, yes, sir. He's a hell of a chaplain, one of the best, because and he had a double dip. Kind of sucks for him because chaplain goats. So we had chaplain Satterley, and chaplain goats was, I want to say it was either 710 or 166 armor. I want to say 166 armor. He was their chaplain, and he had gotten killed the same day we lost Mark and Casey.
No shit.
So he was the first chaplain killed in combat since the Vietnam War. Chaplain goats.
Dude.
Yeah.
Was it ID blast?
Yeah, it took out him and like everyone in the truck.
No,
I think it was like 4 or 5. So the day we lost 2, 166 armor lost like 4 or 5.
The chaplains, that was, I forget my chaplain names in a sec, because he was a really good dude, and he would speak to everyone, and he's just amazing to talk to. And then if you're Bible, Quran, whatever it was, he was very knowledgeable on everything, because he wanted to help everyone. But when that stuff started happening and seeing like the tempo, he would pay attention to like, hey, Bravo Company, they're in the shit right now. Like they're the spear point out here. And Alpha and Charlie, yes, they were doing amazing shit too. Everyone was doing shit. It was like, hey, they're out in Spectre and they're in the, we were known for like the Death Blossom. There were like, other companies like, holy shit, Bravo Company gets in all the gunfights. Because I thought, and everyone can account for this as like Ennis or any of the boys getting, it's like I have so many, Markford, all the front stores. We thought it was so, Ross got Sofa Arena. It was so normal to be in a gunfight every day. We thought that was, everyone was going through that. We didn't know that until we got back out and our buddies were going through group therapy, and they would talk and they would be like, man, I went to group therapy and they like an ID or ID hit the convoy that they did once every 2 weeks and no one died, but an explosion happened and they all got rattled from it. And I had to hear about that. I was like, what? What? And he's like, and then I tried to tell one story and then no one's believing, or they're like, wait, you got in how many gunfights? I don't know, like 50, I guess like 50 gunfights. And it was so foreign to everyone else. And then I started hearing combat stories. It was like, oh, we had a shitty deployment.
Yeah.
Like, what? So then it made way more sense when we had, oh yeah, you lost 16 over there, but then you have like 28, 29 suicides since we've been back. So that's when it started clicking. Oh, I need to make sure everyone's doing okay. And then really push mental health, talking to a therapist, figuring stuff out, talking to your boys, and then understanding and not being like, hey, oh, stop being a pussy. You just went through a gunfight. It's, oh, dude, you went through some shit. Like
that was Ronnie for me, Sergeant Justin Rontes. He's still in too, and he noticed I was off. Like, yes, I mean, on paper, I was a great soldier. I was physically fit. I was there. I did everything I needed to do. I was good. But he noticed something was off about me. It's because I wasn't hardly sleeping. I would literally like work all day, go beast out in the gym, and then close the bar, sleep for like 3 or 4 hours, and then right back to work. Like that was my just everyday routine. And what's crazy is I got to the unit and Ronnie and LaRue and all those other guys, they had already been to Iraq before. And so before we went to Afghanistan, they were like, well, Iraq had this, Iraq did this, Iraq did that, right? And they're like, so I never did Iraq. So when we got back, I thought like their Iraq deployment was so much worse. Like that just mentally, I was like, I thought it was just so much worse. And Ronnie, pulled me aside one day. He's like, hey man, I'm going to go talk to somebody. I think you should come with me. And I was like, yeah, I mean, there's other people who've been through a lot worse like that. That was, it's not a big deal. Like, we lost a couple of guys, had a couple more wounded. And he's like, Long, I'm going to tell you, man, like that was bad. He's like, that was worse than Iraq. He's like, that was very bad. And I was like, oh, and it was because Ronnie was willing to be honest with me like that. Like, hey, I have something to compare this to, and what we went through was worse. I was like, oh. So that's when I went and I started, seeking help for it. So shout out to Ronnie, man. Ronnie's a hell of a leader, great NCO. The world is a better place with people like him serving. It really is.